Welcome, audience. This is Kronos from Texas Smash. We're about to start this tournament. Let's nerd out together. Today could very well mark the dawn of an annual tradition. We will start and finish the first round of My Hero Madness on this video. 100 fighters will enter, but only 64 will leave. We will start by quickly showing the matches that were unanimous amongst the voters. After this, we will run through the matches that were decided 4-1, so that we have time to focus on the best matches, the ones that were split 3 votes to 2. Stick around to the end to get a sneak peek of round 2. Also, if you have not seen the selection show video for this series and are curious to know more details about how the tournament will operate, or if you just prefer to begin with the first video of the series, check it out below. Link in the description. We have 36 matches to get through, so let's get to it. Spoiler warning, any given character in the My Hero Academia universe could be brought up and discussed. No one is off limits for the tournament. Like and subscribe. Are you guys ready for the tournament to start? Everyone knows round 1 is where you want to be to see the most epic matches that come down to the wire and the most shocking upsets. Let's begin round 1 by quickly going through the 21 matches that were unanimous across all 5 voters. Next, we will run through the 6 matches that were split 4 votes to 1 in almost identical fashion. The only difference is that I will include the odd man out amongst the 5 voters. This leaves us with the 9 best matches of round 1. Let's go. Mina's best moments have come during school exercises and team settings. During the license exam and during the upcoming 1A versus 1B arc, the last time we saw Mina outside of a planned exercise was when Mina choked, trying to throw the sleeping anesthetic into Giganto's mouth. Mina has the better quirk, and far more potential compared to Mandalay. However, if they fought today, Mandalay wins in a close battle. I personally voted for Mina here, just seeing as how Mandalay is essentially quirkless for this battle, fighting the alien queen with a powerful acid quirk. However, even though I voted for best girl, I don't think Mina would win this one easily. And since I was outvoted, she didn't win at all. Mandalay definitely has much more experience. Don't write Mandalay off just because she doesn't have a quirk that's suited for combat. How strong are Curious's bombs? Curious can apply explosive properties to anything she touches, with her quirk Landmine. These explosions can be detonated at will. We are told that the damage from a single bomb is not very strong, but powerful enough to deal a lot of damage if used in numbers. When Toga fights Curious, Curious had touched her followers before the fight. I counted 4 separate people who worked for Curious that Toga drank blood from. That was 4 separate bombs ingested by Toga. Curious detonated these simultaneously. Think about that for a second. These bombs blew up that were inside of Toga's body. Toga should be dead, and the fact that she's not does not speak well for Curious's bombs. In this matchup, Curious is fighting Enigma, who has an unnamed mass expansion quirk, allowing her to grow to be as tall and wide as a residential building. If Landmine couldn't do anything against Toga, what in the world is Curious gonna do against a huge blob like Enigma? This one gets a little technical, but the bee swarm kept inside Queen's body are extensions of her quirk, which is the same as saying an extension of the body. Point being that if Monoma were to graze one of these worker bees, in theory he should be able to copy Queen Bee. Once this happens, the Queen Bee powers should cancel each other out, and it's pretty fun to think about these two going at it without the power of their quirks. Both are pretty vicious when they need to be. This fight would be dirty, bloody, and merciless, making it very entertaining. Monoma survives a hard-fought battle here. Experience wins here. Sero is usually cracking jokes and is one of the first to laugh in most situations. Not a good matchup for the taping hero Cellophane. Sero really has developed quite a bit, but a fight against Miss Joke is a fight that Sero will have to keep a straight face for the entire time. And in that regard, Sero has not had much development at all. Sero's best chance here is in the early stages of the fight to bind Miss Joke before she activates her quirk. So I feel like at most, Sero gets one shot at Miss Joke before it's over. According to Deku, Miss Joke's quirk allows her to force those around her to burst into laughter so intense that it dulls their motor skills and cognitive abilities. So once Sero laughs, which we all know he would, the fight is over. This one was a joke. This one was really fun to imagine. Ending's quirk allows him to control the white lines on the road. Unless Ending figures out some way to drag Mineta to the street, Ending's quirk is useless here. That's what makes it so interesting to think about. Mineta's quirk is no joke, let's be honest. What we have here is a full-grown man who is a little insane versus an immature child with a quirk to be reckoned with. I'm sure that Mineta would be able to successfully stick Ending to the ground. Ending will pursue Mineta, so this should make it very easy for Mineta to make sure that Ending steps on his balls. Nani? Mineta would have a stationary target that he could continue to attack in order to ensure that Ending could not be able to punch or kick. At least, this is kind of how I saw the fight going down. I think Mineta's reputation might have cost him a vote or two on this one. Turtle and I got outvoted here, and Mineta bows out early. Remember, when voting on matches, the voters don't have much to go on as far as tournament rules. All that was stated was that when fighting, look at both the characters in their prime and use your gut to decide who would win without me giving you specifics on time of day or environment conditions. However, one thing that was made clear is that there is no out-of-bounds rule for My Hero Madness. If there was an out-of-bounds rule, this one would have been unanimous for Ida, I'm sure. Ida is the type of person who is always honorable and will fight accordingly. She-Mage, on the other hand, does not mind getting her hands dirty. Remember when she made a mushroom grow inside of Tokoyami's esophagus? She-Mage will play dirty, Ida won't. We have already seen Ida be fooled once before, when Mei requested to Ida to allow support items for both fighters before their fight. Ida is a noble person, and this is why he lost then, and he loses now. To beat She-Mage, Ida would need to be quick and ruthless. He is only one of those things. And since Ida's target is the source of the spore pollination itself, there is no way Ida's going to be able to avoid She-Mage's attack, regardless of his speed. One of the hardest matches to decide. This one was so close that I had to advise our voters that a tie was not an acceptable answer for these matches. This one comes down to the stage itself. In particular, this fight comes down to the distance between the fighters when they start the fight. The longer the distance, the greater the advantage for Jiro. On the word go, Jiro would instantly attempt to use her equipment to hit Ojiro with a heartbeat distortion attack. She could utilize her gear on her wrist and boots to defend her body, or she could remove her gear to create a wider range of attack. She can also use her earphone jack as a whip to shock her target. Ojiro, on the other hand, is extremely nimble, and people forget about how good he is in hand-to-hand combat. Even so, due to the flexibility of earphone jack's attack options, Ojiro never gets the chance to close the distance. Last time we saw Vantablack, it took a team effort to herd Vantablack into a specific location in order to allow Tokoyami to catch him. This time it's a one-on-one fight against Ochako. Not to mention, Vantablack's quirk completely voids out Ochiko's quirk. She would never be able to get Vantablack to float because he can defy gravity with this quirk. And at the very least, there will be a shadow available for Vantablack, if not much more than that, as options for him to jump into. And even if Ochako tried an attack similar to the one she used against Bakugo in the Sports Fest, the one where she would make debris and rocks weightless over the course of the fight to ultimately slam them all down at her target, this too would create a massive shadow as it came down. Therefore, Vantablack has a way to dodge this literally right under his feet. Ochako may as well be quirkless for this one. 1B shines again with the advantageous quirk matchup. Poor Ochako. She has the worst luck with opening round matchups. At least she can go chill with Ida to watch the rest of My Hero Madness. This is the primetime matchup for round 1. This fight was so intriguing to think about. Kirogiri, the League of Villains member, the guy who has one of the best quirks on the show, the guy with tons more experience. Surely he couldn't lose to someone who didn't even make the cut to be in Class 1A, right? Direct quote from my selection show video last week, My Hero characters hold on to their relevancy in the plot due to the nature of the quirk power system. Setsuna has the quirk to beat Kirogiri. Setsuna's unique quirk gives her the ability to split her body up into at most 50 separate pieces, which can fly and be controlled remotely by her. She can also reform her body at will or regrow missing pieces if they're unrecoverable. Kirogiri doesn't have to worry about just a single target to warp away. He has to worry about 50, all of which sharing the same thoughts and mind, each with telepathic control. Kirogiri is good, but do you think he would be able to keep his eyes on each and every part of Setsuna and be able to warp them all? Not to mention, the parts that Kirogiri does manage to get, Setsuna can regenerate that part to try again, while Kirogiri is still dealing with the other 49 pieces. Biggest upset of the opening round goes to Setsuna. Let's all give her a big pat on the back. Wait, no need. She's already taken care of that herself. And that completes the first round of this epic tournament. Not the best day for Class 1A, but Class 1B definitely came through with some major upsets. Setsuna at rank 93 beats Kirogiri at rank 36. She-Mage at rank 89 beats Ida at rank 40, and Vantablack at 88 beats Ochako at 41. The field has been chopped down to 64 remaining fighters. Let's take a look at the matches in store for next week in round 2. No more bye weeks. Every character will be in action next week as we move through the second round. Did your favorite character survive round 1? Do you think this character will survive the next video? Can the 1B magic continue? Find out next week on My Hero Madness.